Okay, welcome back to my Adore Cream Prince album reviews, and not forgetting what's happened in the past couple of weeks. Today I'm finally going to live on true to my promises, and I'm going to hurry up and review the rest of Parade for you. As an addition, I'm also going to review the two B-side songs that came out with the album. That's Love or Money and Alexa de Paris. Okay, before I get into Parade, I just want to mention one thing. It was definitely worth the wait, but I was concerned initially when Nightchild Ethereal did not rush out a video straight away after Prince's death, but when he did on April the 29th, he did a video talking about his death, and I have to say it's easily the best and most heartfelt tribute I've ever seen. He did such a good job, he brought the emotions in perfectly. He had a lovely backing set with a beautiful photo of Prince kind of like grinning. There were purple flowers around it. He had out his little suitcase style record player, and it had a copy of, I think it was Artificial Age, sitting on it, and he had flowers around it. He had a couple of Prince albums. I think it was Hit and Run Volume 1, and all this, sort of kind of around the record. And he talked really well. He started off really sad because, like everyone else, like with my one, my video, I was like holding up the Why Would Die For You single and then playing around with the toy guitar. I was really sad, but then Harry got into Prince, and you could just see his tone lift through the video as he talked about how he was hitting a ball against the fence, and then you heard, "We've got a live one here, ha ha ha," from Bat Dance, and it's just incredible, and I really think it's basically the best 14 minutes you'll ever spend watching a video. Okay, that's enough of a moving advertisement for him, not that I mind, because he's worth it. I mean, this video, wow, it's like, I've seen lots of Prince tribute videos. I've been doing a lot more watching than recording lately, and I've had my birthday. I'm past 40 now, and if you look behind me, you will see there seems to be an old record with a portrait of Prince circa 2013-2014. One of my aunties bought it for me, and I think it's really clever. It's actually not a Prince album, but it's just like some record, and some local artist from up north in New Zealand, someone like Kerry Kerry, has painted this image of Prince on it. So now we can get to look at Prince behind me, and that's I put it up, and to me it's kind of like a memorial almost type thing, and I'm actually thinking of writing on it in gold highlighter, Prince, with the dates and everything, but I think it's really beautiful. It's been hand painted, it's probably unique, and yeah, I really like it. Okay, let's talk about Parade. Okay, we're going to talk about them in order. Okay, here's your song list. Basically, I'm going to show a few singles and records here and there. Now, as you know, Parade is largely, it's a soundtrack for the Under the Cherry Moon movie, which is, I love it. A lot of people think it's ridiculous. They think it's a wee bit overdone, but well, I guess Prince was kind of dating himself at the time. But who cares? Prince is worth dating himself. I love the movie, and at the very least, everybody, the lovers and haters, agree that the music on it is outstanding. There's several live musical parts. Now, the movie opens with Christopher Tracy's Parade, and Christopher Tracy's Parade is a wonderfully upbeat song. It actually grew out of little girl's Wendy's Parade, and this has a lot of Wendy and Lisa on it, and it's basically introducing everyone to the character Christopher Tracy, the Gigolo. It's got a very upbeat feel to it. It has a real sweeping, like if you watch the movie, you see like it shows them zooming in on Nice and Monaco, and it comes into the market scene where Prince hops out of his his Thunderbird, and all the kids want the money. He goes, "Can't y'all get a real job?" Then he buys all those flowers and gives them to that woman. It's a great song. I love the drums. I love his vocals. It's very upbeat. You can hear Wendy and Lisa singing along in the background. And yep, I'm going to give it a mark out of 10 like I did with 3121, and it gets 10 out of 10. I mean, why is anyone even surprised? That flows into New Precision, which is a very sparse party funk song. This is typical Parade. It's got this very sparse funk sound. I mean, you've taken off some of the frills and bits and pieces you had on Around the World in a Day in Purple Rain, but it's still got this big party feel to it. Like with Purple Rain, I mean, all the songs at the start of the album are really positive and really upbeat. Because as we know, Under the Cherry Moon, Christopher Tracy dies. Although there was an alternative version written where Christopher Tracy lives and he marries Mary Sharon, who's played by Kirsten Scott Thomas, who's Prince's love interest. At the start, Prince's character was only interested in her because she's got a lot of money, as Tricky said. Wow, that's where the big macaroni is. And but then he actually falls in love with her and stops being a gigolo, and basically he wants to settle down with her until, of course, her parents, who don't like Christopher Tracy. Let's face it, the guy is a self-caressing little twerp, but you have to love him. There's a classic gif where it's got close-up on Prince's lips, and he goes like that, and he looks at the girl, But anyway, it's hilarious. And anyway, so that moves into, and that again, 10 out of 10. I Wonder You, which is a very sparse Wendy, Lisa type song, and it's a bit sparse, it's got the it's got a good beat to it. And I love the musical backing because you've got Claire Fisher all over this album. It's not as good as the first two tracks, so I'm going to be harsh on the song and only give it a 9 out of 10 because it's still excellent, but it's not as excellent as some of the other stuff on this album. Okay, on to the fourth song. We still haven't hit any singles yet, but don't worry, when we hit some singles, you'll soon see. Under the Cherry Moon, the first of the two ballads, and Under the Cherry Moon is beautiful. It's a very romantic love song. It's very yearning, and like the last song in this album, it's become really relevant in this age of Prince's death. Now, some of the lyrics Prince was writing for this album, they are just so profound and so clever. You know, I'll die in your arms under the cherry moon. I want to live life to the ultimate high. I want to die young, like heroes die, you know. In a kind of way, it's possibly what he did, you know. And these songs do have a sort of almost morbid finality to them, but they are brilliant. And Under the Cherry Moon, I mean, without hesitation, it's a 10 out of 10 song. But the one thing, it's a big musical change because the first three songs are so upbeat, and then we move back, it's into ballad territory straight away. Fourth track in. Fifth track, it changes even more. And the fifth track is the first one I can show you which came out as a single, and that's Girls and Boys. And Girls and Boys is a change of gear again because it's so upbeat. Girls and Boys is a great dance number. It's after the scene in the movie where Prince and Tricky, well, Tricky played by Jerome Benton, are teasing Mary Sharon over and this isn't Mary Sharon, this is actually Prince. It's a very feminine looking outfit, I think. And I believe this is a British only release. It came out in anticipation of the 1986 Wembley shows. And it did quite well. I think it got to number 10 on the British charts. It wasn't released as a single in America. But Girls and Boys is a great song. It's very upbeat. It's a big band performance. And there's a part in the movie where they all jump up on stage where they get rid of the orchestra. And I think Prince brings on this huge beatbox and starts dancing around. And Mary Sharon jumps up and dances on the table. And some of her father's minders get really angry. And they're like, oh, we got to deal with this Christopher Tracy guy. He's horrible. He's evil. He's corrupting our daughter. It's really positive and really, really upbeat, and I love it. And I'm going to give Girls and Boys 11 out of 10 because I absolutely love the song. Of course, this is me. You know, I've got no sense of rationality, and yes, that is me behind prison bars up there, and I'm standing on the 100-story high Melbourne Tower in the background. But anyway, yeah, I really love Girls and Boys, and this single, it's 12-inch single, it's really cool. It's actually got Under the Cherry Moon again, the song one before, so I mean, real contrast. And that's actually all on the first side, and on the flip side we've got Erotic City. It's the song that no one could get enough of. And compared to the party feel of Girls and Boys and the sincerity of Under the Cherry Moon, the erotically charged Erotic City, I don't care what anybody says, they are definitely not saying funk until the dawn. They're saying they're going to do something else to the dawn. But anyway, love it, 11 out of 10. Okay, song number 6, Life Can Be So Nice. This is Gigolo's Paradise, basically. Prince is having a great time. He's going out shopping with Mary Sharon. Very positive, very upbeat. But musically, I actually find the song a bit slight, but there is one line in it that just blows me away, and that's the line, no one plays the clarinet the way you play my heart. I mean, wow, this quality of the lyrics on this album, and just for that alone, I would have given it a 9, but that lyric alone makes it another 10. It's a great, great song. 7, probably the only really slow song on the album, but it was an instrumental, and it was kind of, you know, there to tie the movie together, and it's got some lovely orchestration and strings by Claire Fisher. It's Venus de Milo. It's not de Milo. I know here in Australia and New Zealand we have a chocolate drink called Milo, and that's what I called it as a child, but apparently it is called the Venus de Milo, and it's a Roman statue. But the song is just really basically some piano noodling. It's very well done though, and it has a sort of sweeping, Claire Fisher strings come in. It's very sweeping, and it's a lovely song. But again, it's not the greatest on the album, and I give it an 8 out of 10. And then number 9, Do You Lie? This is pomposity at its best, you know. And includes Prince singing in a sort of funny falsetto going, do you lie awake in your boudoir? I think of you, girl. Do you think? And it's hilarious, but so I give it a 9 out of 10, but I deliberately skipped track number 8. I'll tell you why in a minute, but first I want to talk about track 10 before I talk about track 8. Track 8, of course, as you know, is the famous single Kiss. And Kiss was the first single off the album, released in February 1986. The album came out on March 31st. Shows you how long it's taken me to do this video. I mean, it's May and I'm still talking about this. And as you know, Kiss was a big #1 hit in America, Australia. I think it got to number 2 in Britain and New Zealand. And it was #1 and number 2 just everywhere around the world. It was Prince's first #1 hit since the Purple Rain singles, When Doves Cry and Let's Go Crazy. As Raspberry Beret stalled at number 2, but it was a massive hit. It went double platinum, has a really cool video. It introduced the world to the first new look Prince. This is the first time he wore his hair this short. He'd actually shaved it off in the late '85 when he was recording Under the Cherry Moon, but In the America video from October '85, he's actually like wearing this like sort of turban on his head, a do-rag. So people still think he's got like the big sort of bushy hair he had during the Around the World in a Day Purple Rain period. But this is a new Prince. He's wearing black and white. Single's really cool. This is 7-inch, and you can see this thing's been well loved. And here, this is a 12-inch, much better condition. And bizarrely, I don't know if this is a fake or different, but this is a 12-inch again with a different sleeve. And the color of the label is different. Like here, Kiss has got a black label, and Love or Money's got a white label. But on this single here, which I find curious, is Kiss has the white label, basically, and Love or Money has a black label. So that's what I've always found very curious. So 2 different records, or are both of them like different mixes? Both of them are We Are Australia. I know this one here's actually got Auckland, New Zealand on it. We were still making records at the time. Yep, so that was the first single. It was #1 hit. I mean, absolutely amazing. Prince thought, oh my god, I've got another Purple Rain size hit here, but he was wrong. Now, track 8, Mountains. Mountains to me, I don't know if you've seen the video, it shows him dancing on the clouds. Mountains to me is probably the best Prince song ever made of this period. I mean, now we're talking about to date. You know, do remember, I know what you guys are thinking, I was going on about Adore and Forever in My Life. This is 1986, this is before Sign of the Times. Okay, Prince had probably written half of Sign of the Times, but Prince had not released it, and people had not heard the stuff beyond a few engineers. So, to date, Mountains was the greatest Prince song released. And Mountains is amazing, it's a wonderful catchy melody and chorus, you know. Prince is singing a beautiful falsetto, and you've got to see the video, the dancing is incredible. Prince does the splits, and you've got Lisa and Wendy with their po face behind them playing their instruments, and Lisa looks up from the piano and goes, and Prince then is wearing this oversized hat, it's ridiculous, and he's going, oh, well, it's only mountains and the sea. Love will conquer if you just believe. Again, guitars and drums on the one. See, the song is so good. It's 30 years ago, and it sounds like it was recorded yesterday. I mean, this is why I miss Prince so much, and I'm so upset he died, because we are never going to hear music along the line of Parade again. And again, as with Kiss, 10 out of 10. Mountains, 12 out of 10. It's even better than Girls and Boys. Mountains is blow your head off good. I mean, even if you absolutely can't stand Prince, I recommend you listen to the song Mountains. And the sad thing about it was Mountains was the second single. People thought it would be a big seller like Kiss. You know, it had the same jaunty, upbeat feel of Kiss, except it wasn't quite as sparse. There was a bit more musical meat in it. And yet the song stalled in the 20s in America. And it wasn't that big a hit worldwide. It only got like into the sort of around number 20, number 30 mark. And it's a shame because it's such a good song. I mean, were people tone deaf in 86 or something? Were they waiting for Tom Jones to make his version of Kiss? It is a brilliant, brilliant song. I love Mountains, and hopefully you do too. Now, track number 11, because we've already dealt with Kiss. Third single of the album, another absolute banger, Another Lover, Hole in Your Head. And I know it looks like a long word, but Prince says, you need another lover, like you need a hole in your head. So even though it's like one word, he actually sings it like as several words. Another extremely funky ballad. It's basically about a woman who dumps Prince, you know, and basically she wants to find another lover, and Prince is saying, no baby, you need to stay with me because finding another lover is like having another love hole in your head. Even though it's set to the movie, we've got Christopher Tracy, Prince and his Christopher Tracy gigolo get up on the cover. Basically, the song is actually a Prince song aimed at Susanna Melvoin, who was starting to show disloyalty at this stage. Again, it's just brilliant. And this is the back of it. We've got Brown Mark's only real appearance at the time. This is actually just before the Revolution disbanded, and by this stage, you look at the look on Brown Mark's face. He was angry with Prince. Prince was always putting him in the back, and he felt Prince was being racist because he was showcasing Wendy and Lisa and Bobby and Matt, you know, and really sort of hiding the black side of his group. And he wasn't really like the other black men in the group Prince was liking, you know, Jerome, Wally and Greg. And basically also the other thing Mark was really angry about too was that Prince had kind of stolen out Maserati under his nose. You know, taken over Maserati, which really was Brown Mark's baby. Maserati got Princified, released their own album. They had a really good song called 100 Miles Per Hour, which was a Prince song. But the rest of it went nowhere, and the songs of Maserati were actually quite weak apart from the Prince cuts. They turned down a song called Jerk Out because they thought it was too dirty. The time took it, they did a much better job. So basically by October 86, when Prince had actually fired Wendy and Lisa and Bobby Z, he told Brown Mark he could stay or go. Brown Mark left, and if you've been watching my other videos, that's when we bring in Levi Seacer Jr. on bass. And Levi Seacer would stay with Prince up to 1994 pretty much. And yeah, so that's the sad thing about this. And this is the famous statue, the Venus de Milo itself here. See, she's missing her arms here. But anyway, B-side to this one, of course, is Girls and Boys, because this was an American release single. They hadn't had Boys and Girls as a single. Now, Lover, Lover, Another Lover, Hole in Your Head was an even bigger flop. It failed at number 65 on the charts. It was a bit more successful here in the rest of the world. It got into the 30s, I think. This was at the time, the third single came out in August to October 86, depending on where you were. I think in Britain it was October. But this was the time when they had the parade, and ironically called the Hit and Run Tour. And it went around Europe. I don't think it went around America though. But anyway, it was really successful. It really garnered his British fan base and his European fan base, particularly the French, the Dutch, the Belgians, the Germans, and all the Scandinavians just got into Prince big time. So when he did the Sign of the Times tour next year, he just played those areas and he sold out. And again, he did it with Love Sexy, and people just couldn't get enough of Prince, especially the Dutch. The Dutch are cool. They really like anything that's out there, avant-garde. So yeah, this is another banger, and again, it's another 10 out of 10 song. And finally, we get to the last song on the album. Although I'm going to discuss the two B-sides. We're up to 16 minutes already. Goodness me, I hope we can do long videos like this now. Sometimes It Snows in April, and this song has a lot of poignancy for us today, because the lyrics in this song, it's basically when Christopher Tracy dies, and Prince is like a third-person narrator mourning Christopher Tracy from afar. And it includes such lines as, "Sometimes I wish that we could live forever, but like all good things, never last. Love isn't love until it's past." And it's become basically the epitaph song for Prince, because you can apply the whole tragicomic drama of Christopher Tracy onto Prince. Because, I mean, Prince died at the age of 57, and he did leave a beautiful corpse, basically. I know it's morbid to say that, but he did. He didn't, like, die when he was, like, 90 years old or anything. Speaking of dying, I think we should all remember Little Richard in our prayers. To me, Little Richard is a very important artist, so shut up! You know, because Little Richard did invent rock and roll, and in a lot of ways, Prince and Michael Jackson both did borrow a lot of their style from Richard. And apparently Richard isn't very well. He's 83 years old. Yeah, so I mean, 2016, it's been a horrible year for legends dying, but don't shoot the messenger, but I'm almost certain that Little Richard's going to be the next one to leave us. Yeah, so that's my review of Parade. So I'm giving Sometimes It Snows in April. The strings are beautiful, the piano's beautiful, Prince is singing a hauntingly beautiful falsetto. There's a part where it opens up and he goes, "Oh, ooh, I often think of springtime." And it's so poignant too, because sometimes it snows in April. Prince died in April, although apparently there hasn't been any snow. I mean, the weather around Paisley Park, it was quite cloudy and dull on the first couple of days, but then the sun came out and it's clearly the grass is green at Paisley Park, the trees are in leaf, so obviously the Minnesota winter is over. Please, if you live in Minnesota, please correct me if there's been like a snowstorm since or anything. But yeah, there's just too many parallels between this song and the recent events. So as much as I love Sometimes It Snows in April, you can see it's actually making me quite sad, because the song was almost like Prince was foretelling his own doom in this song, I think. But I really, even though I went on about how much I love 3121, and you guys have too, I mean, it's up to like 1,300 views now, I can't believe it, but I love Parade even more. I mean, pretty much after Sign of the Times and 1999, for obvious reasons, this is my next favourite Prince album. And I mean, Parade doesn't really get the love it deserves. I mean, a lot of people aren't that crazy about Parade to me. I love Parade. Maybe it's because of the stain of it being with a certain movie, but I don't think you should like blame a self-indulgent movie on you know, an album. Like, see, there you are, there's my copy of the movie, so I can watch whenever I want. And there's Prince in his Christopher Tracy look, and Kirsten Scott Thomas playing Mary Sharon, Prince's love interest in the movie. But anyway, I really like the album, and I'm just going to talk briefly about the two B-sides. There's Love or Money, which is a really funky song. It's got a great sort of vocal refrain and backing up. It goes, "Love or money, what's it gonna be, yeah. Nothing comes for free now." And it sums up the whole Christopher Tracy ethos. Love or Money appears on the Kiss single as a B-side. Shortened version here, we've got a longer, funkier version here, which is amazing, blow your head off amazing. I mean, if you're buying a Kiss single, get the 12-inch. I mean, the 7-inch is good by itself, but all you've got is a shortened version. But, like, see here, Love or Money is 3 minutes and 10 seconds. On this one here, well, it doesn't say, but I'm assuming that Love or Money is at least 5 minutes long. Yeah. What have we got? 7 minutes of Kiss, and Love or Money, yeah, 7 minutes 49. So there you go. And finally, Alexa de Paris. That was the B-side to Mountains. I mean, like I said, for the later singles, he put on Erotic City, Girls and Boys as B-sides. And, of course, Under the Cherry Moon on my other single for Girls and Boys, which was Under the Cherry Moon was a B-side. But Love or Money, I mean, sorry, Alexa de Paris is basically just another instrumental in the line of, oh, sorry, I meant 10 out of 10 for, Sometimes It Snows in April too. So, Love or Money, basically, is a good song. Alexa de Paris is quite forgettable. It's just another piano noodling, although it does have a sweeping. Again, it's got some good strings on it, and it's okay, you know. But overall, this is a great album. And I give Parade, I give it an A+. And I haven't added the marks to give it, but I'm sure if we just count the 11s and 12s as 10, I think this got something like about 95%, 95 or 96%. It's almost perfect. And if you haven't heard it, I mean, I don't know why, but please listen to it. This is a fantastic Prince album. Parade is easily one of his very, very best albums. Prince was in fine form, and you knew he was in fine form because what did he do the next year? He gave us Sign of the Times, and he was writing all this brilliant music in and around it. I mean, you think of all the brilliant tracks that didn't make Parade, you know, songs like Others Here With Us, Old Friends for Sale. I mean, that's just an amazing song. Even Empty Room was cut at this time. Adonis and Bathsheba, of course, it's my favourite legendary song, Go. Wonderful Ass was almost going to be on this album. Two that survived for Crystal Ball include An Honest Man and Sexual Suicide, which are brilliant. I'm not so sure about Movie Star. I don't know if that was Sign of the Times, Dream Factory, but I think possibly Movie Star as well. And then, of course, you've got the stuff he was writing just after Parade, like all the stuff he wrote for Crystal Ball and Dream Factory, but that's another video. And then, of course, what comes after Parade, and even you think that a brilliant album like this he can't top it. What does he do? He gives us Sign of the Times. So there you are, 21.5 minutes of me talking about Parade. You know, it's worth every second. And yeah, watch it, guys. Peace out. And don't forget to remember Prince is still with us and in our hearts. And like I said, yeah, go ahead, watch that Night Child Ethereal video. I mean, it's amazing. It's worth every second. I mean, he just summed up all the emotions everybody's just feeling at the moment, I think, about Prince's death. And yeah, so, you know, nothing lasts forever, I guess. But like they say, all good things, they never last, you know. Love isn't love until it's past.